One of the most common questions I see people asking right now is how do I actually mix Retatrutide? They go ahead, they buy a vial, they get the bacteriostatic water, and then they realize they actually have no idea how to mix the two or what dose they should be taking. And look, to be fair, 10 years ago, the only people that were dealing with this type of thing were bodybuilders and athletes. But now peptides like GLP-1 medications and Retatrutide are becoming very popular amongst general population who are simply trying to gain control of their body composition or improve their overall health. So in this video today, I'm going to show you exactly how to reconstitute your Retatrutide with the bacteriostatic water, how to properly calculate your dosing, and how to avoid mistakes like taking double the intended dose. I'll break it down for you on the whiteboard so it actually makes sense. Firstly, we need to understand what reconstitution means. When peptides like Retatrutide are manufactured, they come in what's called a lyophilised powder. That basically means that the peptide has been freeze-dried into a powder form. The reason they do this is because peptides are actually very fragile molecules, and if they're stored for a long period of time as liquid, they break down and lose effectiveness. So instead, they're stored as powder and then mixed with bacteriostatic water before use. This process is called reconstitution. Powder plus backwater equals injectable solution. Now, in terms of equipment, you're going to need a few simple things. Firstly, being your injectable insulin syringe. Next, you're going to need your bacteriostatic mixing water, your lyophilized Retatrutide powder, and your alcohol wipes so you're not being a dirty bastard. Now, the important one here is the bacteriostatic water, not just sterilized water. Bacteriostatic water contains a small amount of benzyl alcohol, which prevents bacterial growth once the vial has been opened. Now, step one. Open your that one just went on the ground, that's why you have two. Open your alcohol wipe. You're gonna wanna wipe both the Retatrutide vial and the bacteriostatic water vial. You're then gonna draw your bacteriostatic water into your insulin needle, spinning around and drawing the water out. Bad weather outside. Boom, right. 100 units, which equates to 1 mil. We're gonna go over that in just a second. Next, we need to put the 1 mil of bacteriostatic water into the Retatrutide vial. Now, we need to be cautious here. We need to make sure that once this goes inside, it doesn't just completely explode in. So you wanna hold the top of the insulin syringe so it doesn't just completely push itself in. Once we get into the vial, I'm going to turn the needle slightly to the side to ensure that the bacteriostatic water is coming down the side of the vial and not hitting the powder directly. Remember what I said before, peptide powder is extremely fragile, so it's always best to make sure that we're mixing them very gently. Pull the top of my needle and I punch that through the top. I'm letting it drizzle down the side of the vial here so it gently touches the fragile peptide powder. Once we're in, remove the needle, which is now bent, so we're not going to be using that one again. Once we put the bacteriostatic water in the vial, we want to gently allow it to dissolve on its own. If you want to speed up the dissolving process, you can gently swirl your vial, but remember that peptide powder is very, very fragile. It should only take 1 to 2 minutes. So if I can be patient, you've probably been overweight for a wee while now, you can wait another 1 to 2 minutes. Now this is the part that confuses most people. Let's say we have a 10 milligram vial of Retatrutide, and we're gonna add, as I just did, 1 mil or 100 units in an insulin syringe of bacteriostatic water. That means we've had 1 mil water into 10 milligrams. Note, there is a difference between milliliter and milligram of Reta. The simple maths of this, Reta being 10 divided by 1 being water equals 10. And what this tells us is that for every 1 mil of water, we have 10 milligrams of Reta. That's gonna matter in a second. Now, most insulin syringes are measured as 100 units per 1 milliliter. So now we know that 100 units equals 10 milligram of Reta. And I'll tell you why. We've put 1 mil of water into the 10 milligram vial. We know that 1 mil equals 100 units on the insulin syringe. So now we have 100 units equating to 10 milligrams, meaning this whole thing filled up is 10 milligrams. Assuming you only put 1 ml or 100 units of bacteriostatic water into your Retatrutide vial, we can now confidently say that 10 units equals 1 milligram, 20 units equals 2 milligram, 30 units equals 3 milligrams, so on and so forth, until you got down to 100 units, which would equal your 10 milligram or the entirety of your 10 milligram vial. Now, for those of you who go ahead and buy a 20 milligram vial, the math is very much the same, except we've got a 2 here, so let's just add 2 ml of bacteriostatic water. 2 ml of water into 20 milligrams. We know that we have 10 milligrams per ml of water. From there, you very much do the same. 10 units would equal 1 milligram, 20 units would equal 2 milligrams, so on and so forth. At the end of the day, the easiest way to think about this, guys, is more water equals lower concentration. Less water equals higher concentration. And where you might use this to your advantage is if you're looking to, say, microdose Retatrutide across multiple days of the week or multiple applications, you could quite simply add more water to your vial, creating a much lower concentration, making it a lot easier to find a much smaller number. Once you understand the maths, the whole process becomes incredibly simple. Now, one thing I want to make clear before you guys go is compounds like Retatrutide can be an extremely powerful tool when it comes to fat loss. But they are just that, a tool. So if you're someone who's currently on peptides or you're considering using peptides and you would like help structuring your training, nutrition, and overall routine to maximize the results and outcomes while on peptides, I'm gonna drop a link in the description below where you're actually able to book a call directly with me. Now on that call, we'll have a quick chat about your goals, where you're currently at, and whether my coaching team and I are the right fit to help you move forward. And if you'd like me to break down how we structure training and nutrition for clients who are utilizing GLP-1 medications or peptides like Retatrutide, let me know in the comments below and we'll cover that as well. If you found this video helpful, please make sure you give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and moving forward, I'll be breaking down a bunch more different peptides, showing you how they can support both muscle growth and fat loss phases and how to use them properly. Peace out.